Talk loud.
Good morning and welcome to the Stoney Love Morning Show. I would like to welcome you all this wonderful. Is it is it Tuesday? Oh,
Yeah, today is Tuesday.
oh, okay, yes. Tuesday morning, and I'm flying all over the place. Um, and today we have in the studio with me the wonderful Miss Phyllis Hatcher. How are you doing this morning?
I am wonderful.
I want to say thank you for getting up early with me this morning.
Most definitely.
Thank you. Thank you so very much. I'm going to leave everyone with the quote of the day as we begin the show. Do the best you can. So, whatever you got going on this morning, just get up, stretch, drink some water, and do the best you can. And that's all the world need from all of us, our best.
Exactly.
Yes, exactly. Thank you. Now, I would like for you to share with everyone who you are, where you from. I know you just told me you was a Grady
I
baby,
am.
like me, and so we don't get to meet those as much around because everybody's moved here, and then so many
Exactly.
people's gone away. But it's grateful to meet someone, like yourself. So could you tell everyone about you and what you do?
Okay, let's see. Where do we start? Well, I'm Phyllis Hatcher.
Yes.
I was born here in Atlanta, been here all of my life, like you say, a Grady baby. And Stoney, thanks so much for having me here on your show. Even though it is early, I was up at 4:30, trying to get here by 6:30. But thank you again for having me. But just a little bit about Phyllis. I am married. Been married for over 26 years, but I divorced my husband every day. So he's still around. I have two daughters, Angeline and Kim. My oldest child is a nurse, and my second child is an attorney. She works for Henry County State Court. And let's see. Well, I just recently come off a campaign trail,
Okay.
and you all know that we just had this election.
Mm-hmm.
The runoff ended yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
so I am tired from that. But I have I just took on politics. Sometime in the early '90s, I thought about running for office, and it took me up until 10 years later to decide to do it. So I just come off from running for the United States House Representative District 10,
Okay.
and unfortunately, I did not win.
It's
That's
okay.
okay.
It's all right.
I'll be coming back in the next 2 years because that 2 years is that term is a 2 year term. So I'll be coming back in 2024. So look out for everybody for Phyllis Hatcher.
Oh, I believe I know you're gonna knock it out this
I
time.
am.
Now, what motivated you? You said years ago that you decided that you wanted to run for office. What was it that hit your spirit and say, I need to do this to make a change?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, I have my first child.
Mm,
My first child is Kim, and she was diagnosed with juvenile diabetes,
mm,
and she was insulin dependent. And being without health insurance coverage at that time was a tragedy. And I had vowed then that I would not allow or want anyone to go through what I had to go through with my young daughter at the age of 16 being diagnosed with juvenile diabetes with no health insurance coverage.
mm.
And and I said then, that's a no-no. We live in a country, the United States of America, that everybody should be able to afford affordable health care. And that's a problem for me.
And today we still sort of have that issue.
Oh yeah,
It's
it's definitely an issue. Even though me, as pretty as I am today,
yes.
I am uncovered.
Wow.
I do not have any health insurance coverage, and I will be 63 in July. Unfortunately, I will have to wait till I'm 65 in order to receive Medicare.
Right.
But by that time, they say that once you turn 65, you're pretty much already over the fence,
Right.
right?
Hmm.
So why is it that you have to wait till you be almost over the fence in order to maintain your health?
That is a very valuable question.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you don't look like you're gonna be 65 in a few.
Well, God
Wow.
is
He
good.
is. I really am very shocked. But, you look wonderful,
Thank you.
amazingly wonderful. Um, Medicare, even though it will kick in at 65, it only
Mm-hmm.
pays 80%.
Exactly, and and the other 20% has to come from my Social Security check.
Right. And so that's not fair either
No,
because
it's not.
you've worked so hard to put all of this money into the system
Exactly.
and you're still having to pay out more money.
Exactly.
But I know that there are some supplemental insurance that will help cover the cost if need be, but those still don't really cover all of it. And they pick and choose what they will and will not.
Well, they have the A, B, C, and D plan.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, 80% mostly covers your hospitalization. But even with that, if you have to have specialists,
Mm-hmm.
if you happen to have certain illness, but then not only that, it doesn't cover your basic necessities, like your eyes
Yeah.
and your teeth, your dental.
Yes.
And we as black people do not visit the dentist
quite
at
often.
all,
Right.
often enough.
Mm-hmm.
And they call those things cosmetics.
Mm.
But those things are a necessity. Your
Right.
mouth
Yes.
and your vision.
Mm-hmm.
And so, even with the plans that they have with the Medicare, you have to pay extra for the eyes and the dental. And, the plans that they have for the Medicare, it doesn't work.
Mm. So when you get in office, how will you possibly introduce a structure to change or improve healthcare for all of us, and at least would it be Atlanta? I mean, in Georgia. How would you be able to make that happen where everyone has some sort of affordable or the availability, not just based on your incomes, even the Obamacare.
Exactly.
You have to go
That's what
based
I
on your
wanted to talk
income.
about, the
Oh,
Obamacare.
okay. Let's
Yes.
strive there.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, even with the Obamacare, it works and it helps some,
Okay.
but it doesn't help all. Because if you break it down, excuse me, if you break it down, you have the Medicaid, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's Georgia Medicaid.
Yes.
And Medicaid is actually designed for people that have a certain income base.
Okay.
And then it also kicks in on your seniors as well. For an example, if you have a senior citizen that's in a nursing home
Mm-hmm.
and receives Medicare,
Mm-hmm.
now Medicare is only going to pay for so much for nursing home care.
Mm-hmm.
But then the other 20% that you was talking about, that's when the Medicaid will kick in, it'll make it 100%,
Oh,
right?
yes.
But when you talk about Obamacare, it's structured on, just for example, my income or your income,
Mm-hmm.
being self-employed.
And your last year tax filing, correct?
Exactly.
Okay, go ahead. Yes,
Now, my husband is the sole supporter.
ma'am. Okay.
Okay, but we're self-employed.
Right.
So self-employed with Obamacare was $1,036 a month. How in the HE double hockey L, as my pastor would say,
Right.
that we can afford $1,036 a month? So when I do decide to run for office again in 2024, I want to introduce a plan that affordable health care, the keyword affordable health care,
Mm-hmm.
would be able for all of Georgians to be able to afford health care that would include dental and vision, right? Now,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how I would put that together because when you're elected into office, of course, you're given all these people, to surround you, to help you write your plan, to be able to bring your vision and put it on paper, and then to kind of like take your budgets and all this stuff and put it together to make it work.
Right.
But the vision is to make sure that normal people, normalcy, myself and you and all the other Americans in Georgia, that's on an income basis, I would say 25,000 and up to 150,000, because that's the medium income
Mm-hmm.
of Georgians.
Mm-hmm.
Anything $25,000 and below, they consider that as being Medicaid,
Okay.
right? So if we take the middle class income from that to 150,000, well, that could be affordable for everybody.
That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And that would definitely be great. I remember during COVID, I had lost my insurance because I had lost my job. But I had some illnesses that came up, and I was like in that bracket of where I couldn't get Obamacare,
Mm-hmm.
but somehow I don't know what happened, but I ended up in the bracket of getting Medicaid for a while.
Yeah, 'cause you didn't have no money. You were broke.
I was
That's
broke,
right.
and so and
Yeah,
so
you was considered indigent.
that's right. And so when they tried to cut it off, I called the state and I was like, "Listen, I'm still going through this therapy,
Hmm.
and I need to continue the coverage."
Right.
And then I ended up with COVID, and
Mm.
then I was hospitalized. I was thanking
Wow.
God at that time that I had that little blue card.
Yeah, that you had Medicaid.
Yes, and I
Hmm.
was like, because I was able to get the treatment that I needed,
Hmm.
and Kemp at the time he was trying to cut people off.
Hmm.
But it was this lady down at the office. She was like, "Oh, don't worry, Miss Stone. We're gonna make sure that you're
Awesome.
not cut off." And I was like, "Thank you so much for that."
Hmm.
So now that I'm on my feet, I don't have the Medicaid. But I mean, at that time,
Yeah,
I needed that so bad
of
because of my
course.
breathing. I needed medicine, and it
Hmm.
was just so. It was just at a time when things like that need to kick in, and a lot of questions don't need to be asked because some people really need it.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I had to visit the hospital. Unfortunately, for I had some lymph nodes here,
Hmm.
and of course I went in without health coverage. And believe it or not, they have a credit plan now that you can go to the doctor with. Can you believe that?
Oh,
You
I've
can
heard of
actually,
credit care. Is that it?
yes, you can actually apply for a credit card.
Wow.
You have some good credit in order to get some care. I tell you, it's all jacked up, but that's okay. We're gonna make this thing.
We're gonna make it work.
Yeah, we're gonna fix it. Eventually, someone gonna have to fix it.
So when we come back, I want to ask you, besides healthcare,
Hmm.
what are some other things that are on your agenda to begin to fix when you? Because I know you're going to be elected, so we're going to speak this into the
Well, I
universe.
thought I was gonna be elected this time.
It's all right. It's all right. You know, it's
But that's
all,
okay though. It's
it's all in
timing.
God's timing.
Yeah, for sure.
So you know, sometimes He says in His Word, "My thoughts are not your
Right,
thoughts,
and my ways are not
not your
yours.
ways."
Exactly.
So we don't know, but
Right.
in the appointed time.
Exactly.
So as we speak it and we manifest it now.
Right.
When we come back, we're going to talk about when that time does come and
Okay.
you are granted that opportunity. What other things are on your agenda to help the Georgians succeed and to grow in the community and
Okay.
expand the community?
All right.
We'll be right back after these messages.
Okay. Thank you.
Uh, He doesn't call and text me.
Something's wrong. I know. I be like, what's up? What's happening? What's going on with
Exactly.
that?
We like that attention.
Yeah.
So if a man dates me, he has to date me as a Leo.
More than 80% don't know they have it. Prediabetes is a serious medical condition that puts you at high risk for type 2 diabetes. But now, North Carolina residents with prediabetes can enroll in a free or low-cost national diabetes prevention program. You can make healthy changes with support from this proven program. Get started now at joinaprogram.org.
Greetings and welcome back to the Stoney Love Morning Show. I hope that you are having a fabulous morning. It is a great day today. So even if you don't think so, if you don't feel like it is, make it the best and do the best you can. I'm right here with the one and only Phyllis Hatcher, and I've just been loving the sidebar conversation with her. You are awesome. I just want to tell you that.
Thank you. Thank you.
And welcome to the show this morning. And my question was when I left off with you, I wanted to ask when you get that opportunity, because it's gonna come. It's gonna come back again. And when you're allowed that opportunity, what is it that's on your agenda to help structure and better the Georgian seat?
You know, voting rights.
Oh yeah.
I often talk about voting rights, and it bothers me. You know, living in Atlanta, right, and living with my grandparents. I was raised by my grandparents, and sitting in the churches with Jose and Jesse and Ralph and my grandfather Clifford, and just all the guys talking about politics and voting rights and how black people, colored people had to get the right to vote.
Yes.
Now, in 1968, I believe it was,
Mm-hmm.
when the people of color got the right to vote.
Mm-hmm.
And my question has always been, why is it that we, as a people of color, had to have a right to vote? I don't understand the word right to vote. You know what I mean? And it seems like to me that everybody, because we're all human, right?
Yes.
Am I an animal?
No.
Are you?
No.
Now, do my blood be the same as your blood?
Yes.
The only thing difference is that we're just different shades of color, right?
Just a different shade.
So why is it that we had to have a right to vote? So I have a problem with that. And I don't know as you know, but this past time, I think in the past election cycle time, well, as of right now,
Mm-hmm.
there was a bill that was introduced that was called the SB 202 bill.
I do remember that.
And that bill was introduced to continue to suppress the people of color to vote. And so I have concerns about that, and I have issues, and I want to be able to. Now, I said this one time. I was at the AME conference, and Bishop Jackson, allowed me to speak. And I know he probably said, I don't know what this girl is going to say right about now. And we all love John Lewis, right? I love John. Trust me, I love John. And John has a bill that's called the Advancement Voting Rights Bill.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, why is it that we have to continue to make a bill after bill after bill after bill in order to have a right to vote? So
Right.
I made a comment and I said, let's abolish the bill.
Mm.
And when I said that, I heard people say, ooh, what does she mean? I'm like, why is it that we have to have a bill for people of color to vote? We're all United States citizens. If you are a United States citizen of America, you should be able to participate in the voting democracy. Just that simple.
That's some.
And it shouldn't have to be a bill for you to go vote.
Right. I agree.
Just go vote.
Right.
So when I said that, I hear people like, oh, she wants to abolish the John Lewis's bill. No, I do not. I just want to just get rid of it altogether and just say let everybody participate in the democracy of voting.
No,
What's
that
wrong
makes
with
sense.
that?
I don't see anything wrong with that, but I do feel that a lot of it hasn't changed. Even though we're here today and we have our freedom and we're allowed to do so many things, we're still we still haven't had any growth.
I understand that process. But
Right.
until
And
we start eliminating all of these things about saying, giving you permission, we'll never be out of it.
That's true.
And not saying, okay, change to me comes from the heart.
Yes.
And you can't be able to change everybody's heart, right? You can't make folks do right by you. I mean, that's just that simple. They have to want to do right by you.
Hmm.
But you can change paper.
That's true.
You can eliminate processing.
And that's why it's up to us as citizens, as Georgia citizens, to elect people such as you who see that and want to make those changes. But
Yes.
until we go out and vote and our voice be heard on those ballots, we're going to continue to be stuck and always complaining, oh, well, they do this and they do that, but we never went down and vote. We didn't make the change.
Yeah, don't get me started on that one. Yeah.
Yeah, because we have so many people talking about this and why this is this way. Why is this still this way? But they're not getting off the couch, but they're watching Channel 11 News, and they're angry about what's happening, but they're not motivated to get up and say, you know what? Let me get my purse. Let me get my license. Let me go get my card. Let me go and vote today. Let me
Exactly.
make a difference. Let my voice be heard.
Exactly.
Once that take place, and then a lot of these things can start because now we will be electing the people whose heart has been changed, who knows what needs to be fixed on the agenda to
That's
make
right.
and drive Georgia in the right direction.
Exactly.
And so for the past few years, elections, we have suffered greatly because we've been the red state. Is that right?
Yeah.
We have been the red state
And
for
it's slowly turning blue.
slowly. Yeah.
They said that we are in the purple stage. You know.
Wow.
And it's slowly turning blue. You know,
Okay.
But we have to start having these type of dialogues though, because if we continue to have bills that continue to suppress the people of color to vote, I don't see us moving past it.
And we won't because a lot of people want to see us stuck. We are very powerful people.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Very powerful.
Smart.
Yes. Beautiful, kind, all of that. The list is long. And so we as people are a threat to other people.
Exactly.
And so what happens when you are a threat to other people?
They
You
try to
want
suppress you.
exactly. And they will do it by all means. So once
All
we
means
necessary. So once we got rid of course, yeah, we just celebrated Juneteenth, but we're not over that phase yet because we still in slavery by incarceration. We still in slavery by everybody's in a bracket by your
Exactly.
credit score, your criminal
Girl,
background.
now is what? Let me see.
It's
Now it's credit check, background check, drug check, credit check. I mean,
yes,
all
it's
kind
on
of
the
check.
checks to see, and that's another form of slavery.
Exactly.
So because you are a credit score of 485, you can't live in Buckhead.
Oh, you're not gonna get down to Chestnut Street at 485.
Right, but you go.
And you know what Chestnut Street is, right?
Is that over there off of Martin Luther King?
Off of Simpson.
Oh, yeah, see?
James P. Brawley.
Right, 485. So we're gonna put you up, but we're gonna put you somewhere near there. Now, if you got a 485 and you've been to prison,
Oh,
you can't get an apartment in your name.
can't get in. You can't. Let me see. You can get a cardboard box on the street.
So now you got to go ask your friend. Listen, can you get this apartment? They're like, wait a minute. Well, girl, I got a job. I work down at McDonald's. Well, girl, you know you really don't make enough.
That's a whole another story there because when you start talking about homelessness, that's a whole.
And
nother
that's why
story.
you see a lot of people on the street because they do not meet the qualifications.
Exactly.
They may have a job. They may have what it takes to pay for the apartment. But remember, they're in slavery somewhere because of something they either did, a bill they didn't pay, or something. And it's preventing them because now we have the rules. We have more rules. So we can keep a bracket of these people out of our area by stigmatizing them with their credit, their background check. Same with guns. Guns, they had a lot of, for years, it was, oh, if you've been to jail, you can't get a gun. But nobody's checking no one's mental health to see if you're on Prozac or if you're having, bad dreams at night about killing people and you walking around here with an AK-47.
Well, they're closing down the mental health hospitals.
Oh, see, that's another
Georgia State Hospital in Millersville was one of the biggest mental institutions in Georgia, and they closed it down.
And we need more mental health because
most
people are
definitely.
going through it, and no one is talking about this. I have a daughter, and I love her dearly, but she needs. I can't help her because I've done my job as a parent. Now it's time for the therapist. Something happened somewhere. We missed the boat. We missed the train. But when you get people in your family that are mental health, you cannot ignore it.
No, you can't.
You can't because that's your child. So instead of having my child walking down Peachtree Street looking lost, I have to deal with that. So when I leave here with you, I've got to go home and deal with a child who's kind of, I don't know what I'm going to do with myself today. Your inspirational quotes mean nothing to me.
Well, I had a brother that suffered with schizophrenia.
Schizophrenia. Yeah, I have a nephew who does.
And actually died in Georgia State Hospital in Millersville.
Oh, wow.
He was institutionalized for pretty much all of his life.
Mm-hmm.
And my mother just put him somewhere, and he died there.
Because it's a lot to deal with. It
is
is a lot for a parent to deal with a child who has mental illness.
Exactly.
And then when that child doesn't have insurance and you can't put them anywhere and you have to deal with that, then you start, and you got insurance, so now you got to go get some pills because you're like, wait a minute.
Exactly.
But see, I'm stronger than that. I'm spiritual, so I just you know what? But see, when you got people who not spiritual, it begins to be a problem for them. They can't cope because it's too much. And I'm telling you, something needs to be done with the mental health,
Exactly.
with the slavery in which we are having to live in certain areas because, these apartments want you to make 3 times the amount of rent.
Right.
But if you work at McDonald's and say you work at a warehouse,
Right.
you barely making it to get that apartment, but you need somewhere nice to live.
But Stoney, all of that goes into human services.
Okay.
When you talk about mental health, you talk about homelessness, you talk about sheltering, all of that goes into human services. And not saying that we want to become a communist United States, but the United States really got to start paying attention to people, just everyday people. When you talk about your mortgage, your lights, your gas, your water, your food, your shelter, your transportation, health care, we need to start making sure that we start paying more attention. Even when you talk about your daughter's mental health, that kind of like hits something here because kids today, they are not built the way that we were built. Like you say, your daughter says that your quotes doesn't mean anything to her. And
Neither does the inspiration.
exactly. So I know that kind of like hurts you a little bit when she says
It does, but I know that's when I hear that, I look at it as a demonic force trying to
Exactly.
divide the home.
But we got to have some care for our kids, though.
But she's 31. She's still my kid, but she's going to have to get it together because I won't be here always. So that mental health problem that you're hanging on to, you're choosing to hang on to that because you wasn't traumatized as a child. You wasn't raped. You wasn't abused. Something
But
happened
you don't
along
know
the way.
right.
Something happened. I understand that. And I'm
Right,
not
exactly.
insensitive to that.
Right.
But what I'm saying here is you choose to hold on what you want to choose to hold on to. I've been through a lot of things. A lot of
I
things.
say that a lot. Sometimes two people choose to do what they want to do, but sometimes folks can't help. I mean, like when you mentioned the shootings for the guns and stuff, we have kids going into schools shooting up schools with guns. Why?
Because environmentally, they are seeing these things on video games. They're angry. People think that when they put their children in front of these games all day and the games are babysitting the children, they're teaching the children to be angry.
But
Scientists
don't you think
say,
that it still has to be some type of mindset, though?
well, the mindset is coming from the video game.
Okay.
If you and I sit here all day and we watch soap operas, just soap opera after soap opera, eventually,
We'll want to be like them.
exactly, we're gonna be like, girl, I want to love like that. He just loves her. Why I can't get no man to love me like
But
that?
then don't your common sense kick back in and say look,
That's not reality, right? But he's a kid. He doesn't know that.
But
That
see,
shooting up the school is not a reality. But
yeah,
they
but
just
still
did it on
become
the
to be a mindset, though.
right. But he just shot up the school on the game though.
Right. So still, I would still say there's not a sane person. Because even though that we may watch the story and want to be, dressed that way, look
Right.
like that, but we know that that's not reality, right? But, so our sane mind kicks back in.
With some people,
Right.
some people,
So
if you're not mental, we're not mental health. We know that's just a soap opera.
right,
But somehow we got lost in it though.
but that's because that's when your mental health kicks in. Because if you don't got lost, something is lost.
Right.
If you not got lost and then go, something is really, really wrong.
Right, but we come back and be like, that's just
You
TV.
can't come back if something is wrong.
Well, that's right. And we get a lot of people who are lost
That can't come
that
back.
can't come back
And
from
they
that.
need the help.
And they need it.
Exactly.
And where is the help? Where is the help in the state of Georgia for mental health people? And why isn't Georgia, with all of the guns that are out here right now, and then Kemp just changed this law about is it no criminal check or no background check for the
They're
guns?
still trying to figure that out.
Okay.
They're
So-
still trying to figure out whether or not are you going to be 18 or 21 and a criminal background check.
Okay, so let's along with that criminal background check, you should also have a mental health evaluation.
Exactly.
And it should be a 2-part, just in case you try to flip it and tweak it the first time and they don't know you psycho.
Right.
So you should be placed on a database and said that you might be category 2, which is a red zone, or however they do it,
That's true.
to make people like, you got the no flies. They look for you on the no fly that you shouldn't be flying.
Yes,
So they should do that the same thing if should you have a gun?
that's true.
Are you mentally stable to have a gun? Not about your criminality, because if you are a criminal, people are transformed as criminals.
Exactly.
But you cannot, unless you get help and seen a therapist, you're not transforming. That could take years to get all of whatever happened out, that anger. And even through therapy, you may even suppress
Exactly.
those things. So are you still ready to carry a gun? Because something can trigger that person at that moment,
That's true.
and he can kill everybody in this room because I said something and it triggered them
And that has been going on lately in our schools.
in our schools. And we talked about this on the show. I don't know. I don't think you followed this one. I had a teacher on in the beginning of the show, and we spoke about how Georgia has the buzzer. I like this preferably, and I think it's something great that you guys have implemented, where when we go to the school, you ring the buzzer, and I'll say, "Hi, I'm Christina Stone. I'm here to pick up my son, Jimmy Jim." And they'll say, "Okay, hold on for a second." They're gonna look at Jimmy and see what class Jimmy Jim is in, and then they're gonna say, "Okay." Then they buzz me through.
Right.
Now, at that time, they've already taken my picture at the door. They've already looked and see if I'm on the list. So when I go into the office, I just show my license, and then they call Jimmy Jim to the front. But say, for instance, if I didn't have a student there, that gives them time to prepare, make sure all the doors and everything is locked, and call the police and say, hey, we have a crazy lady at the door. She's trying to get into school, but we have secured the building.
But what about Jim and Jim is already in the school?
How did he get in there, though?
Jim and Jim is a classmate in school.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
And see, most of the time when these shootings are taking place, they're not taking place for someone coming from the outside into the school.
It's Jimmy Jim
Jim
that's
is already
in the school.
And Jim and Jim has brought a gun from wherever he's gotten it from,
Yeah.
tucked down in his pocket, in his book bag or whatever. In his mind, he has watched TV or whatever, but in his mind, he has said he's going to go shoot up the school. So Jim and Jim is already in the classroom.
So how do we keep the children safe when that happens?
Exactly.
That one I don't have an answer for.
Exactly.
Because that's a
Jim
whole...
and Jim are already there.
Yeah.
So Jim and Jim has probably need to have some psychological help at one time or need to have some psychological help. He has been able to get a gun from his homies or from his home, from his father, grandfather, or whatever. And Jim and Jim has taken that gun with his mindset and decided he's going to go to school and do this.
Right.
So when you mention when you go back to mental health for our kids, we need to start putting more hospitals in place because we don't have them.
Mm-hmm.
And having more therapy for our kids. When they come to you and say, I'm having these thoughts, I'm having this process, Mom, I need to do this and I need to do that. You know, because I have a grandson, you know, and he talks to his parents a lot about what goes on in school, bullying and you know, all these things that takes place in school. And people want to fit in and, you know, Jim and Jim, you know, may not be able to, you know, fit in with the football player or whatever. Then Jim and Jim get his mind
frustrated.
You know, you know, so that's a process, you know, and we have to, you know, start looking out and helping our community.
That's
so,
true.
you know, we don't have a fixed answer for it, you know, but as long as we keep talking about it and keep talking about it and keep talking about it, something has to happen and change.
Resolution will definitely happen. Well, this session here with you, we're going to come back in just a little bit, and we'll kind of wrap things up and do a recap. But after these messages, we'll finish our conversation with Miss Phyllis Hatcher.
Thank you.
Because we know Sunday dinner is going to be something to smile and laugh as a family.
You gotta wash your hands, at least for 20 seconds. We got the soap right here.
Growing up as a child, even though we had a small family, it was only 4 of us, we always sat around the table, and that was passed down from my grandparents. We would always sit around the table, so having the family around, just made the food taste better because, we did it all together. We prepared it all together. I guess innately, that's just what I wanted to do for our kids. What's happening down there?
What you doing, buddy? I should see your belly button.
Sunday dinner in our household means kids running around in the kitchen, the kids alternating, trying to help out, teaching them new things and incorporate everything they like. So we really involve them. What do you want for Sunday dinner, So we can put it on the menu and make it together. Some more. Now that we're vegan in this family, the kids have more options and they have tried new things.
Like stuff that when I was that age, I wouldn't even touch,
Right.
So they're exposed to some different things, which I think is awesome. Now they're able to show their personality with asking us about things, whether it's something that they just want to learn more about or if they just want to ask us about our day.
Right.
But them being intentional about their questions, about them learning, about us being together as a family.
And then the kids always, they
set the
table. That's their job. You go set the table.
Is that good? So after y'all get a chance to try some of the delicious food, we got to start with highs and lows.
We said, listen, everybody have their own high and low for the day or the week that they want to share during dinner time.
Right.
And it was something that was really significant because everyone started to have their own voice. We helped to get the kids out of their shell by having the highs and lows.
And it's routine now. Like,
yes.
We don't even have to prompt it now. The girls are like, oh, you didn't say let's start our highs and our lows. I think it makes them happy, as children, that they know that it's an expectation at the end of the day. You put your computer down, you put your pad down, you put your book down, and there's nothing but, our voices across the table.
Sitting around the table is just something that it doesn't require a lot, and you just come together.
It strengthens our bond as a family because we sit down and it's very purposeful. And I think it's a safe place.
It's about the experience in the moment and enjoying time with the family because that's the most important thing. As long as we are able to come together and just see one another, that means more to me than anything. I do remember all of the smells that came out of the kitchen, the laughter.
Welcome back to the Stoney Love Morning Show. And y'all, I hope that you have been following this show all morning, but if not, you can always do a recap and play it back. And I want to thank Phyllis Hatcher for sitting in with me today and blessing me with what's going on in her world, enlightening us about what we need to do as far as mental health, health insurance, the whole shebang. And if you want to be a sponsor of the Stoney Love Morning Show, contact me at StoneyLoveATL@gmail.com. And if you like what I'm wearing, it's by Ashley Stewart. And if you want to sponsor my clothing, my hair, whatever, I'm ready for you. StoneyLove@gmail.com. No. Let's back up. StoneyLoveATL@gmail.com. Gratitude makes sense of our past, bring peace for today, and it creates a vision for tomorrow. A man without a vision, and I said this yesterday, shall perish. So keep your vision, write it down plain on paper, and it shall manifest. It may not manifest today, next month, next year, but you'll always go back and look, and you'll say, you know what, I wrote this down 10 years ago, and here I am. So the Stoney Love Show was manifested 4 or 5 years ago, and here it is right now. So we just never know when that time comes. Now, Phyllis Hatcher, we want to talk to you a little bit. We got a few more minutes. We want to talk to you about where everybody can find you, and will you be running again in 2024?
I believe that's the time.
You gonna crank things up again?
That's what Angie say.
All right.
That's what Angie
That
say.
sounds like a plan. That sounds like a plan. And so, with that being said, when you begin to start running again, will you need help with people on the campaign trail? You know,
Yes.
maybe I can get one of those posters for you and stand up there.
Yes, and then we need Stoney Love to do some radio talk.
Oh, let's do it. Let's do it. What's
Yes.
TV, but
Yeah, TV, yes.
yes, but we'll definitely have you back
Okay.
when that time. We might. I like you so much. We might have you back before that.
I like you too.
I love your conversation. Very enlightening, and you're a very empowering woman. So I love to sit next to my women who are going up, 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 up.
As they say, women rule the world.
We do. We definitely do. Now tell everybody where they can follow your page.
Okay, let's see. HatcherForCongress.com. That page is still up right now, but you know, since I'm not running for office, it's gonna go down.
Okay.
But then you can also follow me on my Facebook page, which is Phyllis Hatcher. Just put in Phyllis Hatcher.
All right. That's what I did. And I tagged you, my friend.
Awesome. Yes.
And
yes.
so I just want to say, everybody, I will see you in the morning. So tomorrow we'll have singer, songwriter Al Chauncey. He's going to be here with his new CD. And he's a great singer. You want to tune in for that one. All right. See you guys in the morning. Goodbye.
Thank you,
All right.
Cindy.
Bye-bye. You're welcome.